from Snake River Stamping. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate that. Um, I opened my streaming stuff today and I couldn't get to everything, and all of a sudden things are different colors. And of course, you know, I can't figure that out. So, some things might be different. We'll see. And I hope that it goes the way I plan it to go, you know. But never fear, Anna's coming on Friday and she'll straighten me out with all the things. So I am going to point my camera down. You know, I really, number one, I should have not tried to do laundry and fold clothes this morning before I did this. Probably would have been better. Multitasking, right? I'm going to point this down and do a few quick announcements, and we are going to get started on a concertina card today. It's kind of fun. Don't forget, best starter kit ever this month. You do have to, if you're interested, sign up before the 31st at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. For instance, I am Pacific Time, and so I'm an hour behind them. So if I decided to sign up at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Time, it would technically be too late because it would be 12:30 Mountain Time. So make sure that you're paying attention to the time zone you're in, and you need to sign up by October 31st, 11:59. It has to be all finished and everything. There's some stuff to sign up by 11:59. So for only $35, you can choose $125 worth of products. All of those products are your choice of whatever you want for only $35. And then on your very next order, 10 minutes later can be your very next order, and you start getting that 20% discount. Plus, in the first 6 months, they do offer you some special offers and some things to entice you. You do not have to make videos. You do not have to teach classes. You can just be a hobby demonstrator, which means you're just doing it for your own benefit, which is what I did for a long time. The other offer they have is for $99, you can choose $189 worth of product. That's their second offer. They still have available the 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar. This has a ton of stuff in it. I'm sure you've probably seen some demonstrators share what's in all these magic little boxes. Tons of stuff. It's a great deal. The Traditions of Christmas class is this week on the 23rd, which is Thursday? You think? No, it's Thursday. And it's at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, which my time, Pacific Time, would be 1 p.m. If you're in Central Time, that would be 3 p.m. And Eastern Time, that would be 4 p.m. Okay? You just have to sign up for the class. They are going to feature Traditions of Christmas, which technically is the paper's out of stock and is coming back in November 17th. But I wouldn't worry about that. If you're interested in the class, because this is a professionally done class, I would sign up. I believe it's $30, maybe $32. I think it's $30. This is the code. It's just like a product code, 170073. They're, like I said, they're going to feature the Traditions of Christmas Suite collection, but that will become available. But the class will, if you pay for the class, it will be available to you forever. So you can watch the class and apply it to, use other product, and wait till you can get this, whatever. You'll get it in time. They'll get the product in time for doing your Christmas cards. And I have some really great Christmas card classes coming up too. They give you a supply list of things that are helpful to have, like some ink, some paper, some adhesives, and things like that. Don't forget to shop the Last Chance list. It's under your specials tab on your page, and they have lots of great things. I ordered some things the other day that I wanted to have, and I was really glad I ordered it because I used some of it. Under the menu tab, don't forget online exclusives. We have several new online exclusives coming November 1st. And those are, of course, are always interesting. Elegant Pine, which I've featured, is one of those online exclusives. This is Elegant Pine. There are pages and pages of online exclusives. These are upside down and right side up. I didn't click the right button to do that, but it has pages and pages. You can put pre-order products in your starter kit. Once you sign up, you can put pre-order for next month, because as demonstrators or hobby demonstrators, you can pre-order things that are coming. So they just have pages and pages of beautiful things that are coming, and you just have to go through that. Like I said, don't forget Paper Pumpkin if you would like to subscribe. October Paper Pumpkin kits have mine's already arrived. It's really really cute. It's a Christmas kit, and I think November looks Christmassy too. December looks kind of general. It's called Watercolor and Bloom, and it's blues and things. And then they have an additional add-on if you would like to order the dies that go with all three of these kits. So you have to order by the 10th of the month, so there's still time. If you haven't ordered October, that's a done deal, but you could still get in November. If you order by November 10th, you can get this one and the next one. It's a subscription service, and you can pause it, stop it, change it, whatever you want, anytime you want. Don't forget my Stampin' Rewards, or my October specials. At $20, you start earning your own Stampin' Rewards, and you can accumulate those to pay for things. $40 order, you get my card kits. My card kits this month are, you get 2 of these beautiful tree kits, October kits. You get all the paper. You have to have your own inks and your own stamps, but you get all the paper cut for you, including this tree. And I have a little video I will send to you that gives you some tips and tricks about one way to color the tree. I mean, you can color the tree any way you want, but I just show you one way. And then you get 2 Christmas cards with all of these things cut for you. Again, your own stamps, but all this beautiful stuff's cut for you. So you get 2 of each for my card kits this month. And of course your Stampin' Rewards again. $50 order, you get the card kits, Traditions of Christmas PDF. I have a different one for Traditions of Christmas. Again, that's a PDF. You do not get the supplies, you just get the directions that emailed to you and your Stampin' Rewards. $75 threshold, you get the card kits, the PDF, and you get some gems that will go with the Autumn Toile. Some gems that will go with this card. Okay. So all qualifying orders are before tax, before shipping, or any coupons or redeemed Stampin' Rewards. Okay. So all that stuff is same old, same old. Keep all this stuff together so I can remember that. Alrighty. I was just going to remind you, if you missed last week's class, we did these really cute column cards that stand up for display, and we made several different ones. Well, we made one, but I showed you several different column cards because I just love cards that are versatile, that you can just change out the paper and make whatever you would like, you know, your card. If you want happy birthday card, if you want, you know, Thanksgiving cards, if you want Christmas cards. Anyway, if you missed last week, go back and pick that up. That was October 13th, I think. Yeah, October 13th was doing the column cards. So be sure and go check that out. Explain everything. I give you measurements like I'm going to do today. I'm going to give you measurements. See, I have them sticking out right here, so I remember to show them to you. Those are really cute cards. Today, we are going to make concertina cards. And these are really cute. These also feature, I just love these dies. These are the branching out dies. I'm using them a lot right now. But any nesting dies will work to do the kind of cards that I am sharing with you. And which one did I show? I think I might have shown this one. I have a couple other examples. I think I showed this one on my Facebook page, but this is it's like those concertina music box things that they have. So they go like this. Okay. And I'm going to show you a few ways to do that too. So the first thing that you need is your card base, 5.5 by 10 3/4. And I was going to show you, it uses up most of a piece of one piece of cardstock. And we're going to do Christmas today. And so you cut it at 5.5, and you have this piece left over to cut some of your other pieces out of. Okay, so you'll want to save this because you'll need that to cut other pieces. So I'm going to go through the rest of the pieces that you need, and then I'm going to show you how to score this because it needs 4 score lines. I used cherry cobbler in mine today. The gems I used today are traditional sparkling sequins. Okay. And then these are my little pieces and parts that I have for you today. So you will need some white as well as your cherry cobbler. So this cherry cobbler, you're going to cut branching out die number 5, and I count from the outside in. My largest die is number 1, my smallest die is number 6. So this is number 5, and I cut it out of cherry cobbler, and I used this to cut that out. And I cut some little flowers and things out. Now I cut 2 kinds, and I'm gonna show you 2 different kinds that I cut. I used on some of my cards, I used these dies, the pine boughs and the little berries. And for the berries, again, I used cherry cobbler. But I also used a different set I'm going to share with you in just a minute. It's an older set. It's retired. But, yeah. You also need some white because you're going to cut out another number 5. It's the same size as this one in basic white. Okay, so we'll have those 2. This one doesn't show it very good. I'll put it up here. And then another white, number 6, the smallest one. You need one of those to stamp on. Your designer series paper, and I was using Traditions of Christmas. No, I was using Elegant Pines, sorry. I was using Elegant Pines. You need 4 of these to do the panels, the front panels, 1 3/8 by 5 and 1/4. And then you need 2 for the inside at 5/8 by 4. You need 2 of those. And you need 1 piece of basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. So those are all the pieces that you need. So you just need 2 colors of cardstock. You need some basic white and you need this piece of cherry cobbler, and you'll get everything you need out of this piece, okay? And you'll still have some left over. And I wanted to show you that you could, you don't need to use the branching out. You could use any nesting die to, and you could even do your circles if you wanted to. And I just cut out some circles. I used a 2 3/8 punch and a 2-inch punch to do these circles. I don't think I'm going to use them because I want to use, because of the kind of flowers I'm going to use today, but I'll show you the technique and how you can use those, okay? Because any nesting die will work on this card. So I will show you the typed measurements at the end. I always want to set things on my computer, and that's never a good idea. So this piece, I cut it at 5 1/2, and then you need it at 10 3/4, and this is 11 inches. So you can put your arm out and do 10 3/4, or you can just go to the 1/4 mark right here, because you're just going to cut off 1/4 of an inch, which I thought was a little easier, and just cut that off like that. And then scoring, park your dark, and your scoring, like I shared with you, don't want to lose these because we're going to use them all. Your scoring is at 1 5/8, 3 1/4, 7 1/2, and 9 1/8. So you just move this to 1 5/8, which is just 1/8 past the halfway mark, and make sure that this is square at the top before you do it, or your lines will be crooked. 3 1/4, that one's easy. As I move it away from that. 3 1/4, and then you will. Now you could flip your card and do those same measurements on the other side. 7 1/2. And then 9 1/8. And of course, an 1/8 is 1/2 of a 4th. And then you have your score marks. I know you can't see those very well, but you're going to just be doing a little accordion fold like this to make your card. Okay, just like that. So that is the measurements for that. Now I need my other pieces and parts that I set over here. So you can start with, if you would like, you can start with your center panel. This is the white panel. And if you think you're gonna, if you know what you want to put inside of here, you know, then you can stamp it. You are definitely going to use your little 5/8 by 4 inches. These go at the top and the bottom. Okay. And you can use glue or you can use seal, whatever you like. But they just go at the top and the bottom. And when I'm not sure what I want to stamp on the inside, but I don't want to lose it, I just put a tiny bit of seal on the back of it and put it down so I can keep it and maybe decide after I have done it, and I can pull it up really easily. So if I'm not sure, now I was sure about these two pieces, but I'm maybe not sure about what I want to stamp in there and where I want to put it, I just put a tiny bit of seal just right in the middle, and I place it in there so that I don't lose it, and I can think about what I want to do. And then when I'm ready, it just comes undone and I can permanently seal it in. Man, these score lines are even hard for me to see. It doesn't really matter because it's not permanent right now. Okay, so then I take my 4 pieces of 1 3/8 by 5 1/4, and I am just going to adhere them to the outside panels like this. Just like that. And I will probably use some glue, so I have my little slip and slide. That always works best for me. I know some people exclusively use seal, and they are so good at it. Me, not so much. I don't know, what do you like to use? Do you like to use seal? Or are you a green glue girl like I am? I predominantly use glue. I mean, not that I don't use seal, because I do, but predominantly I use the glue. And I want to line these up, top to bottom, side to side, so they're kind of centered. And all the action with this card, this Concertina card, is going to be in the, I mean, this is just the background music for it, right? Did you guys like the music I put on my Facebook page with my advertisement? I didn't know what the singer was singing because it was, I don't know, in Spanish or Portuguese or something. I don't know what it was, but maybe it was Italian. I have no idea. But I really liked the music, and I thought it was kind of snappy and happy, so that's why I picked it. Okay, so those are just glued on just like that, and they close, and you will want to burnish these score lines really well. Just so that they will stay shut. And one way to get them to really do that is to burnish them in both directions. So even though I want it to go in the other direction, burnishing in both directions helps to break down the fibers and make the card fold a little better. At least it usually does. Of course, it's not cooperating with me very well today, but okay. We'll let it be obnoxious. Okay. So that's the card we have so far. Okay, and I'm going to set that to the side. Because now I'm going to bring in my branching out dies. So I have 2 of the number 5s, the bigger ones. They're the second from the smallest, actually, in the set. And then the smallest die is number 6. And that one is going to go on top of the cherry cobbler. And this one is going to go underneath the cherry cobbler, like that. They're going to layer. But they're going to layer. This one's going to be over here. And I'll show you how to get that even under these two, okay? These two will be on the left, this one will be on the right. And you will want to stamp, definitely, before you start adhering anything. So you do have to make some decisions. So I'm going to pull in a little cherry cobbler ink, and I'm going to stamp on my my smaller one and my larger one, the 2 white ones I'm going to stamp on. So just ink these are on red rubber, so you don't need a pad on them, but you want to check for edges. And I got this Wishing You a Cozy Day. Now this is out of a retired set, but I was looking for some different stuff than I've been normally using, so I got this out of Frozen Edges stamp set. You might have that. So I'm gonna do Wishing You a Cozy Day. Hope my I'm trying to get even. I keep stamping. Oh, even and no edges. Look at that. I know, you're cheering for me right now because I've been stamping crooked and all sorts of things. And so that one is going to be on the front, and this is going to be behind. And I'm going to put Merry Christmas, and I got that. Let's see. Oh, I got this out of, this is retired too, Hope and Peace. This is from last year. I got this Pretty Merry Christmas there. Okay, so I just look through my stuff that I have and look for things that I like, because quite frankly, when people get your cards, they don't go, oh dear, that's from a retired set, you know. Okay, so I'm going to put Merry Christmas here. Not too bad. Maybe not as straight as the first one. But I'm also going to bring in little snowflakes. And you can do them, you know, snowflakes kind of, you know, blue and stuff, but blue didn't go very well. I mean, there is Pretty Peacock in here, but I think I'm just going to stick with the cherry cobbler and maybe put a couple little snowflakes on here. Oh, I missed. I might be able to fix it because it's clear. And of course I need to get rid of this smudge. edge. Let's see. Perfect. Let's see if I can fix this. Not exactly, but it's going to be underneath. Oh well, I would definitely, before I mailed that, I would redo this, just because of that smudge does not make me happy, and there's no amount of gems that would cover that up. So anyway, I'm glad that first one worked though, but I can still show you the technique. So what I'm gonna do is, this is going to go on top of that, but I want to put some flowers behind it. Now you can, and some of the ones I show you today used, I don't know where that, oh there it is, okay. Use the dies out of branching out. They used these, okay, and I cut some out of old olive, and I cut some berries out of cherry cobbler, and I put them behind here, okay, so that they would stick out. And I like them, but let me see, that's backwards. There we go. These work better, actually, if you cut them apart, because they're different heights. And they will work better if you stick them behind here, like this. And do the different height thing like that, and arrange them. You know, you're gonna have some sticky stuff back there to fix that. Okay, but one of the sets I have is Timeless Arrangements, and this is again retired, and they have these flowers on these long lines, so that when you cut them out, they're like super easy to glue if you have a straight edge. Now they don't work on the circle edge. I'm going to use the circle edge to use these, because these will work on a circle edge better. But on a straight edge, these work pretty well because they're built to, and I wish they'd make more of these. They're built to stack on a circle or a straight edge like this, and you can stack them and stagger them and stuff like that. So I'm going to see how I want to do this. I want that in between. Yeah. Really want. Yeah, I'm going to have to go this other way. So what I usually do when I use this kind is I glue them together and then trim off anything that doesn't fit behind what I am going to put it on. Just a little line of glue. And you can stack them. Okay. I'm going to do that again because I'm going to do one at the top and one at the bottom. Then on the back of this, turning it over, I'm gonna take my seal, because this does work pretty good. I mean, you can glue them. It just takes a little longer to dry. And those are right side up, but I'm going to turn them the other way. And I'm going to put some seal right here at the top and at the bottom, because that's where I want them to stick. So, since I want them to show the front, you might even turn this over. And you can stick them just like that. Okay. I'm going to lay that down there, and you just cover up that straight edge that's holding the flowers, and it's a lot easier, you see, than gluing those individual flowers. And you can have it like that. Then I'm going to put some dimensionals on. Hopefully I have some dimensionals. And I'm going to put it on the red. And this is going to be on my top layer. That's a piece of glue. And of course, for me, getting this even. There we go. Then I have this is a little piece of glue, so I just take my glue eraser and get that off. Okay, so this is going to go over here, and you want to center it. Okay, you want to center it, top and bottom, side to side, and then we'll put the other one underneath. So I want dimensionals just on the right, which is going to be the left if I flip it over like that. And I want to put a few dimensionals here to attach that. Again, I'm trying to get it top to bottom, side to side. There we go, like that. Okay. And then my other piece of white, oh, there it is, that has this smudgy. Now remember, I would not send that, but I'll show you how to attach it. You're going to put the glue, or the I'm going to use seal, is going to go over here on the right. Okay, so if I flip it this way, it's going to be on the right. I can take this off later. I'm not going to put a whole bunch on there because I am going to take that off. And you just place it underneath and leave a little tiny squidge of a space, because you really want it to kind of be hidden under there. Close your card and press. And then when the card is closed, you cannot see it, but when it opens, you can see it. Okay. Now you can do the same thing, like I said, with any dies, nesting dies. like the circle. Like if I was going to use this circle, for instance, I just happen to like the nesting dies a lot. I would cut these apart and shorten those up. I would stamp. My other one. Does this one fit? Oh, that one does not fit. I'm just going to put a hopefully perfect little see, it's such a pretty one. I'm just going to put a perfect little good on there. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over. That's going to be my underneath part. And I'm going to again put some seal on there and flip it over and just start sticking some berries and some pine boughs sticking out. See, those look really cute. And I've got that seal on there, so it makes it really easy just to hold it right side up and place those where you want them, how much you want sticking out. And you can even manipulate this a little bit because I kind of want the red to be on top, the cherry cobbler. Okay, so those look like that. And again, I would take dimensionals, and I still have this the sticky stuff on there, which was just fine. It doesn't hurt at all. And I would put a few dimensionals on here. And so put your white circle on your cherry cobbler circle, and that could take the place of the branching out dies if you would rather have a circle on there. I know that looks really a lot, you know, but it's just another way to do it. Any nesting dies that you have, or punches that you have, if you have stylish shapes, that would work. They have a lot of nesting stuff on there. Of course, I always get ink on my thumb. Anyway, so that is a concertina card. Okay, it goes underneath, I'm sorry. And then you can do those kind of things too. All right. So let me show you some of the other alternatives I made of the concertina cards. So we have that one. And we have that little, I don't know if you guys are as messy as I am. I'm just always, when I'm creating, I just get a pile of stuff going everywhere and detritus all over my desk. Okay, here's another Christmas one, and this is from a set from last year, and I used the little leaves, the branches, and I made, since this had gold foil and the paper, I used gold foil for the larger die behind it. And I just thought that looked really cute. And this was Tidings of Comfort and Joy. Maybe didn't pull that one. Anyway, maybe I did. No, I don't see it. Anyway, so I did just stamp some branches in there, and again, the concertina part, you know, closes. So I had that one. I had this one I showed you at first. This was out of Autumn Toile. Expressing heartfelt gratitude. Your friendship means the world to me. That turned out really pretty. And I used, I don't know if you can see it, I used that, that brown metallic, I think it's earthen metallic, with some of my little branches. And these branches, when I cut out those, I cut it out of DSP. I don't know if you can see it. It's the brown and white check, and that made it just a little more texture and looked really pretty on that one. And then this paper is in our annual catalog, and it will probably be going away. Our new annual catalog comes out in May. And it was very popular paper, the lavender paper. And it has nesting dies too, but I didn't like them as well as I like these, so I just still used these, and I still used, you know, this was kind of out of the net. These branching out dies, they kind of have some Christmas elements to it, but they don't have to look very Christmassy if you cut them out of different colors. And so I thought that looked just really, really cute. A nice little, this is actually a birthday card. It's your time to be remembered, to feel appreciated, know you are celebrated. And that came out of that set too. So that was a really pretty one, I thought. So all of those were the concertina cards that I had, that I made this week. And I hope you'll try it. At first it looks a little difficult, but it really isn't that difficult to make. After you make one, you know, I always say use some paper that you have a bunch of that you know you're not really fond of, and make a practice one, and then you can refine it and make the real ones that you really do like. So here are the measurements that you can take a screenshot of. Your cherry cobbler. I just used the colors that I used today, and of course you would change that out once you pick your DSP. Then you would change that out to match whatever your DSP is. So your cherry cobbler base is 5.5 by 10 3/4, scored at 1 5/8, 3 1/4, 7.5, and 9 1/8. Excuse me. And in cherry cobbler for die number 5, you need a piece that's about 3 3/4 by 2.5. And I count from the largest to the smallest. So that was die number 5. And then also cut 2 berries, or whatever you're going to cut out of cherry cobbler. Again, you're going to have plenty of cherry cobbler left over to do all of this. It'll cut all of these things. Basic white, you need 4 5 1/4 for that center panel that I temporarily stuck in there until I decide how I'm going to use that. Then you need 3 3/4 by 2.5 to cut another larger die number 5, and 2 1/4 by 3.5 to cut the smallest die, and that will be the one that goes on the very top. Old olive, to if you would like to cut pine boughs or whatever you're going to cut. You can cut almost anything to go behind here, to just kind of, you know, look through your sets, and you know, whatever you can find that would look, you could go all the way around it and it would look pretty. About 2 inches by 3 inches for scrap. I used the Designer Series paper, Elegant Pines and Snowflakes DSP. I cut 4 panels of those tall skinny panels. They're 1 3/8 by 5 1/4. And then I cut 2 strips for the top and the bottom in the middle for the center panel on that one. And I did forget, as I see my gems right here, I would put some gems on here to dress this up. Sometimes I don't put gems on till the very end, till I send them, because I'm thinking about what I would like. And I might put some, I like the red ones and the gold ones. I'm not going to put one on there because I don't want it to interfere. But when that's closed, you can see how the 3 gems just really dress that up. Okay. Let me turn the camera up. There we go. All right. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. And next week, I am doing a pop-up flip card. Yeah, pop-up flip card. You'll notice that I really do like fun folds. I mean, and sometimes I do, a flat fold. But I really do like fun folds. When I first started card making, I've told you the story how I was coming off a really big illness, and one of the things that happened to me was I had 2 strokes. And it was really hard for me to make cards. So all of my cards were flat. And I could not do a fun fold to save my life. And now that, I've had 9 years of practice, now I love to do fun folds, and I want to do a box for you next month, a Christmas box. That's really, it's not hard. You go, oh, boxes, I've seen people make boxes. There's some really easy little tricks and things to making boxes, and and they turn out really cute, and you can put little candies or gift cards or whatever in them, and definitely your kids and grandkids enjoy making or receiving boxes. And actually, I've taught my 9-year-old granddaughter to make them too, and she just makes them out of everything now, because she knows the method to make this one box. It's real easy, that I'm going to share with you. So join me again on Mondays, and I hope you enjoyed today's concertina card. And I do appreciate the likes and the shares that you give me. It really helps my channel grow, and I do appreciate that. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next week.